Tony here, Psych'd baseball cards. Today I'm going to show some cards from a 1965 top set they're putting together. This is part 2 of 8 parts. The cards were given to me by the cardboard teacher, Mark, and these cards are all in really nice condition. But before I get started with the cards, I want to apologize for my whining on my Hall of Fame, YouTube Hall of Fame video about how difficult it was to do this video. Not cool. I'm better than that. It's definitely well worth doing the YouTube Hall of Fame. It's great support for the channels, and you also get to see channels that you haven't heard of before when they get nominated. So apologize for that lapse of character for me. So let me turn this camera around and show you what I got. Okay, first up I have Willie Smith. Willie played from 63 to 71 for 5 different teams. He pitched 2 years in the Negro Leagues for the Birmingham Black Barons. In his rookie season, he pitched for the Tigers and was 1-0 in 15 games with a 4.67 ERA. In 64, he pitched for the Angels and was 1-4 with a 2.84 ERA in 15 games, but was converted to the outfield after pitching those games to get his bat in the lineup. In 118 games, he hit .301 with 11 home runs and 51 RBI that year. In 65, he hit .261 with 11 homers and 57 RBI. And so he had a pretty decent career once they converted him. Okay, next up we have Jack Fisher. Jack played 11 seasons from 59 through 69 with 5 teams. In 65, he was 8-24 with a 3.94 ERA and 116 strikeouts. He started the very first game at Shea Stadium, and because the crowd noise was so loud, he asked Casey Stengel if he could warm up in the bullpen instead of on the field, pitcher's mound, where starting pitchers always warmed up before the game. Jack credits himself for starting the custom of starters warming up in the bullpen instead of on the pitcher's mound before the game. Couldn't verify if that was true or not, but we'll go with it. Jack gave up 3 historic home runs in his 11-year career. He gave up Ted Williams' 521st homer, which was his final at-bat. He gave up Roger Maris's 60th home run, and he also gave up the very first homer at Shea Stadium to Willie Stargell. He was a career 86 and 139 with a 4.06 ERA and 1,017 strikeouts. Okay, next up we have Ken Boyer. Boyer played 15 seasons. His first 11 were with the Cardinals. In 65, Boyer hit .260 with 12 home runs and 75 RBI. After the season, he was traded to the Mets. From 58 through 65, he was the Cardinals' cleanup hitter. Ken became the Cards' all-time home run leader for a right-handed hitter in 1962 and held that distinction until 2007 when Albert Pujols passed him. He was a career .287 hitter with 282 home runs and 1,141 RBI. He had 2,143 hits and a 69.9 WAR. He was an 11-time All-Star, World Series champ in 64, National League MVP and RBI leader in 64. He was a 5-time Gold Glover. His number 14 was retired by the Cardinals, and he's in the Cardinals Hall of Fame. In 1964 World Series Game 7, he and his brother Cleet hit homers, the only time in World Series history brothers have homered in the same game. Okay, so Ken, he was one of my favorites growing up. Next up, we have Phillies rookie all-stars. We have Pat Corrales and Costin Shockley. Pat Corrales was born in Los Angeles and played 9 seasons with 4 different teams, mostly as a backup catcher. In '65, he hit .224 with 2 home runs and 15 RBI. He was a career .216 hitter with 4 homers and 54 RBI. After his playing career, he managed 3 teams over a 9-year span and coached 15 years for 4 different teams. Costin Shockley played only 2 seasons from '64 and '65 in a total of 51 games, and he had 157 at-bats. In '65, he hit .187, had 2 home runs and 17 RBI. For his career, he was a .197 hitter with 3 homers and 19 RBI. Next up, we have Walt Bond. Walt was a 6'7" outfielder and first baseman. He played 6 seasons from 1960 through '67. In '62, he was diagnosed with leukemia. In '65 with Houston, the Houston Colts at the time, he hit .263 with 7 home runs and 47 RBI. In '67 with the Twins, he hit .313 in the first month of the season, but was released. He signed with a minor league team, but his health was declining and he only played 3 games the rest of that season and was eventually hospitalized. He passed away in mid-September of '67 from leukemia at the age of 69. Next up, we have Hall of Famer Ron Santo. Ron played 15 seasons, 14 with the Cubs, and the last one was with the White Sox. Ron developed type 2 diabetes at the age of 18 and was given a 25-year life expectancy by his doctors. He kept this to himself until 1971 because he was afraid he would be forced to retire. He eventually had both legs amputated below the knees due to his diabetes. In '65, he hit .285, had 33 home runs, 101 RBI. He was an All-Star and a Gold Glover that year. He was a career .277 hitter with 342 homers, 1,331 RBI, with a 70.5 WAR. He was a 9-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glover. The Cubs retired as number 10. After his career, he became the Cubs broadcaster in 1990 and led the 7th-inning stretch, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, which I'm sure everyone's pretty familiar with. Next up, we have the Dodgers' Darryl Griffith. He played with the Dodgers from September 28, '63 to June 28, '66. Over that span, he appeared in 124 games for the Dodgers, had 315 plate appearances. In '65, he appeared in 22 games and hit .171 with 1 home run and 2 RBI. He was a career .260 hitter with 5 homers and 27 RBI. Next up, we have the Giants' Hal Lanier. Hal played 10 seasons from '64 through '71. 8 of those seasons were with the Giants and 2 were with the Yankees. And he managed 3 years with Houston and was the manager of the year in 1986. As a manager, he was .254 and .232. He was the St. Louis third base coach when they won the World Series in '82. In '65, he hit .226, didn't hit a home run, and had 39 RBI. In '65, he ignored Willie Mays' signals as to where to position himself in the infield due to the high winds at Candlestick Park. After a couple of times of ignoring Mays asked the San Francisco manager to bench Lanier for a couple of games. By the end of the season, Mays appointed Lanier as captain of the infield. Hal was a career .228 hitter with 8 home runs and 273 RBI. I forgot to mention that Lanier was benched after Mays had requested that happen. Juan Rosaro played 18 seasons for 9 teams. The first 6 were with the White Sox from 57 through 74. He was a 2-time All-Star and World Series champ with the Milwaukee Braves. In 57, he was, in 57, his rookie season. In 65, injuries limited his starts to 18 games. He was 6-3 with a 3.43 ERA. This was after a 19-9 64 season, where he started 33 games and had a 2.56 ERA. He dealt with injuries for the rest of his career and was used mostly as a reliever after that. He was a career 131 and 109 with a 3.43 ERA. He had 1,522 strikeouts and a 19.6 WAR. And last but not least, we have Vic Davido. Vic played 16 seasons for 6 different teams. In 65, he hit .301 with 5 home runs and 40 RBI. He was the starting center field in 65 for the AL All-Star team. At the time, he was hitting .345. He was a career .279 hitter, had 36 home runs, 329 RBI, and a 15.8 WAR. He was an All-Star and a 2-time World Series champ with the A's and Dodgers, and won 1 Gold Glove. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed that. Part 3 will probably be sometime next week. And until next time, everybody, take care. Have a great day and upcoming weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.